Mayor Kathi Hemken from the
Hi.
city of New Hope joining us for another update. Welcome, Mayor.
Hi, Dave.
A lot to talk about today. Let's begin looking ahead to a favorite for a lot of New Hope residents, National Night Out. Tell us about some of the updates here and some unfortunate news because of all that's going on.
No, I'm so sorry to say this. I love that event. National Night Out, or Night to Unite, as they've called it recently, is not going to happen this year. We're not giving out any permits. We don't think it's safe for staff and the police department driving around to all these parties. Just too many people, too close together. So this year we're not going to have it. Look for it next year. Hopefully we'll be back to doing what we always do for National Night Out. That doesn't mean you can't call your neighbors and just talk to them over the fence.
All right,
please do that.
Hope that people do that. Let's talk election, what recently happened and what is coming up. Give us the election rundown.
So the primary was last week. And what happened was there were 3 people running for mayor. 1 got eliminated. So Jonathan London and I will be on the ballot in November. And because we have 2 seats for the council, there will be 4 people on that ballot. The 4th and 5th place winners in that, there's a little bit of a controversy, and I think we might have to do a recount on that. We're not sure. So we'll have more of that next week. But there will be 4 people. Since this is a nonpartisan race, that's why you have to have twice as many people as there are positions.
Okay, let's talk looking ahead then as far as absentee voting and the process for the general election. What should people in New Hope know?
Well, there's 3 things they ought to know.
Okay.
First of all, if you ordered your absentee ballot for the primary and you check the box that says, I want one for the general election, you will get one probably the end of September, early October. If you did not request one for the primary, but you want one, a mail-in ballot for the general, you need to go to the Secretary of State's office or to New Hope City Hall and tell them that you want a form to request an absentee ballot. They'll send the absentee ballot out to you. If you don't want to do a mail-in and you want to go to the polls, your polls will be open just like they always are on the 3rd of November. You can just go to the polls and vote that way. If you are going to vote absentee, please send those ballots in early and don't make the post office have to really scrunch up at the end trying to get that all done. Don't wait till the 11th or the 11th, the 1st of November to send them in, because they need to be postmarked by the 3rd, and that puts so much strain on the post office to wait too long.
Good advice there. And let's talk about quickly the League of Women Voters. They have an event coming up. You just want people to get this on their calendar early.
I do. October 14th, the League of Women Voters is going to do their normal candidate forum. I believe they're going to have it in the old way, not just having a 4-minute dissertation from each of the candidates. So the candidates will really be sitting apart from each other, but at the same dais, and they'll be able to ask them questions. So it'll go back to what we think is normal, maybe.
Right.
I'm not really sure about that, but the 14th of October should be marked on your calendar at 7 o'clock.
All right, more information to come on that. Let's talk storm damage. As we record this, people have recovered from some big winds and storms that came through over the past weekend. Tell us what you found in New Hope and some advice for New Hope residents if they still have some damage sitting around.
Yeah. Well, we only had 8 big trees fall on the boulevards, and those are the ones that the city takes care of. So between XL Energy rapidly fixing the lines so they could get power back to people, and us, our Public Works Department, cutting up and hauling off those trees, they really got it cleaned up quickly. Now, if you had tree damage in your yard, you're going to have to take care of that yourself. But there is a site in Maple Grove where you can take your brush to them, and it's free. But do take your ID with you. I think they're open like 8 to 9:30 or 8 to 4:30, but you have to have an ID to prove that you're a citizen of or a resident of New Hope.
Very good. That address down at the bottom of the screen, 10300 Maple Grove Parkway, and again, newhopemn.gov to find out more information about that. Let's skip ahead one item, Mayor, then we'll come back. Speaking of storms, tell us about the radio tower by 36 and Winnetka. A little excitement there through the storms.
Well, actually, that one happened a week ago, not just this last storm. We are being told that they think lightning struck the base and seared off one of the cables that held the tower up, and the tower went crashing into the swamp. So there it sits. Now, American Tower Company, which is the ones that actually own these towers, are going to have to go into that swamp and take this tower out. We don't know if it's going to be replaced or not. We'll see that. But what's going to happen is they're going to have to tape off the path that's there. And they're going to be out on the 19th. And they thought 1 to 3 days to get this thing out of the swamp. If you want a little excitement, just go watch them, how they do that. I have no idea how they're going to get that out of there.
That could be rather exciting. Backing up a thought
so.
here, commission openings, always opportunities for residents to get involved in the city. Tell us a couple of the ways they can right now.
Well, we have a lot of commissions in New Hope, and there are volunteers, of course. So we've got 5 openings on the Human Rights Commission, and we have 2 applicants for that. And those 2 will be interviewing on the 24th before the council meeting. And we also have 1 opening on the West Metro Fire and Rescue Department. That is the citizen rep that we're looking for, and there's 2 applicants for that, and they'll be interviewed on the 24th also. So if anybody's interested in the Human Rights Commission, their next meeting is the 9th of September.
Okay.
At 7 o'clock, and they can do that virtually. So if they call in at 763-531-5100 and tell them they want to get on that virtual meeting for the Human Rights Commission, they can at least sit in and listen to that and see how that goes.
Very good. Food distribution. You wanted to talk a little bit about some of the things that are happening with helping those that might be in need during this COVID time. Tell us a little bit about some of the local organizations that are ready to help out in some different ways.
Oh, they are, and it's just amazing. So if you've got food insecurities, these are the places you could go, and I'm going to have to lift up my paper to read these.
No problem.
The YMCA has got in tinfoil pans, a dinner for 4. You just pop it in the oven. It's usually potatoes and a vegetable and a meat, and it's free. You just go, and in your car, you'd line up. They start giving that out at noon, but I would get there like at 11:15 and wait in line. They'll put it in your car, and you just take it home and feed the little kiddos.
Mm-hmm.
The other one, if you live north of 42nd, you can go to Near Food Shelf, and I believe that address is on the bottom of the screen. Near is going to be open Monday through Friday from 7:30 to 4:30, but you need an appointment to go to Near. And those appointments are between 9 and 3, and there's a phone number on the screen to call to make that appointment. And that's for people living on the north side of 42nd.
Very good.
On the south side of 42nd, they go to Prism.
Mm-hmm.
And Prism's, they're open, where are they? They're open Monday through Thursday from 10 to 3. You don't need an appointment at Prism. And both of those places, though, you need to bring your ID with you.
Okay.
So they know that you're a resident. And the last one is the Hope Bridge Church. And they've got a food shelf there on Boone Avenue. And they're open Thursday from 4 to 8 and Saturday from 9 to 12. That's a drive-up basis. You don't need an appointment, but you do need your ID. And there's a phone number there if you need some more information on that one.
Excellent.
So don't feel ashamed to do this. If you need food, you need food. And there's plenty out there, and they're giving it to people that need it, or even people that just are hurting at the moment. So please use those resources we have.
Very good. Thanks for sharing that information. Let's move ahead to community development, talk about some properties in the city that have some work going on or works in the plan. Tell us first about the property on Louisiana.
Well, we tore down the building that's there. We cleared the land. It's all looking nice and pretty. We've got a couple proposals coming in from builders, and we'll look at that at the Planning Commission, and then that'll move on to the City Council, and we'll pick the builder for that property. I'm hoping we're going to have a house there by the end of the year.
Very good. Let's move ahead to 53rd in Oregon, looking at some sites there. What is happening?
Well, that's the one where we bought the house, so we started it on fire so the fire department could practice in it. It was actually on a double lot. So we have 2 houses going in there. The first house has got its roof on, and so it's getting a nice tight finish, and they'll finish it inside. The second one, the builder, after they built the first one, the builder realized that they needed to move the garage to the other side, and they added some square footage. So they'll be coming, I think, next week for permits for that house to be built there. Both of those are being built by great builders, great homes.
Very, very good. All right, let's talk businesses in the city. A couple of ways businesses are doing some things, and businesses can get together and talk. First, the networking group. When do they meet again?
They meet on the 19th of August at 2 o'clock. It's virtual. And so if you're interested in being on that virtual meeting, you go to 763-531-5123. That's Jeff. and Jeff will get you hooked up so you can watch that virtually. We're going to have a guy named Tony Salinger come in. He's the guy that puts out the calendar for New Hope. And so for businesses, there's some opportunities that aren't really very expensive, opportunities to advertise in that calendar, and just some information on how the calendar gets put together. That should be an interesting meeting.
One other business note, some great news for the city. Tell us about Twin City Garage Door.
Oh, that's exciting. They're actually redoing their office space to the tune of $400,000. When businesses do that, when they upgrade their space, that really indicates to us that they like being in New Hope and they're going to stay here. And we want to keep those businesses here when we can. So we're excited about that.
Final note, let's talk Park and Rec. A couple of the facilities in town, very busy as usual, especially the golf course at this time. What's happening at the golf course?
This seems to be the time to have tournaments, and little and big ones. There are just all kinds of them. So the golf course is open, but I really would go online and get a tee time online, because you never know when these tournaments are, if they're during the day, in the evenings. They're going to start night golf, which is kind of fun to watch. And sometimes they have tournaments. Sometimes you can just go out and play.
Very good.
Do that. And the ice arena, of course, is open. I don't know that they're doing open skating, but I do know they did a tournament last weekend, and they're trying to keep everybody apart as much as they can without closing the ice arena down.
Very good. And final note, we want to talk about an outdoor movie, maybe something from the past, but it is happening in New Hope.
It is happening in New Hope, a little bit different than the one that was in Crystal last month. This is the 21st of August. They're showing Toy Story 4. And it's going to be at the new Performance Center in New Hope, which is right across the parking lot from City Hall. So you should bring your lawn chair or a blanket. They have a terraced area, so you can kind of sit on the wall if you don't want to bring a chair, but you don't want to sit on cement or grass. So bring a blanket and bring your own popcorn, because they won't be able to sell popcorn or drinks or anything like that. So I think that's a great way to get the kiddos outside watching a movie, and it starts at dusk, which is about 8:30.
All right, movie is Toy Story 4, and New Hope Women of Today sponsoring that event. So thanks to them. And Mayor, thank you so much again for your time and for the update of what's new in the city. And we will look forward to talk to you again next week.
You will. I'll be here. Thanks.
All right. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Learn more about The Connection at ccxmedia.org and follow us on social media.